And good afternoon. Sorry for our little technical difficulty there. I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News, and this is From Someone Who Knows. It's a weekly segment that we run here on our digital platforms that gives you more than what you will see on Channel 19. You are going to hear from someone who knows about a particular subject. We generally pick a story that has impacted people in the last week. And this way you get to see whether it's an entire interview. Today you're going to hear an entire piece of testimony, but it gives you more than the 2 or 3 minutes than we can show you on Channel 19. And it is generally from the perspective of someone who knows. They have lived it, they have experienced it, or they are an expert in the field. And today's issue is going to be, if I can get this to work in, and we've got it, this week, the 18th East Cleveland police officer was sentenced. There have been, in the past couple of years, 18 East Cleveland police officers that have been convicted on various charges. 12 of them are now convicted felons, and 16 of the 18 have had to forfeit their license, their OPATA license. That's the Ohio Peace Officer Training Academy license. This week, during sentencing for Kyle Wood, we saw an expert in the field. She is Mariah Crenshaw is the lead researcher and analyst for Chase Injustice. It is a civil rights group that deals with more than just police brutality issues, but in fact deals with anything that can impact an individual's civil rights. She testified before the sentencing of Officer Kyle Wood. There is the most recent East Cleveland police officer to be sentenced on 8 charges that he pleaded guilty. They showed body cam video. Notice hands are out of the car waiting to be arrested, but that wasn't enough. In a couple of different situations, you had individuals who were surrendering, but yet they were slammed to the ground, they were kneed. You can see the text messages, haha, Wood, every time we ride together, someone's bleeding and we get, I believe it said, into action. Another situation where an individual had his hands on his head, waiting to surrender, but instantly Officer Wood starts punching him and kneeing him in the ribs. He pleaded guilty to 8 charges, including 2 counts of assault, 1 count of interfering with civil rights, and 2 counts of dereliction of duty. Ultimately, the judge sentenced the former police officer to 1 year in prison. He is going to jail. His attorney had asked for some sort of probation or parole, but that wasn't enough. Would, every time we ride together, someone's bleeding and we get into pursuit, ours or in someone else's. That was a text message between Kyle Wood and his partner. It was a sign to the judge that this was an individual who this was his charge, was to be able to get into pursuits and become extremely physical with individuals, including individuals who had their hands either behind their head or hands out the window waiting to be arrested. And ultimately, it gets him a year in prison. Now, you're going to hear the entire testimony from Miss Mariah Crenshaw, the civil rights leader. She gave an emboldened, impassioned set of testimony to the judge before that sentence was handed down. Now, we're going to get to that. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, you'll hear the entire testimony from Miss Mariah Crenshaw. Alrighty, folks, welcome back. We're having some technical problems here, so what we're going to do is we're going to reset, and then we'll come back so that you can hear the testimony from Mariah Crenshaw in this civil rights case of an East Cleveland officer who was sentenced to a year in prison. And we will be right back.